And I want to bring in ABC's political director, Rick Klein, in Philadelphia for more on this. Rick, Pennsylvania may be the single most important state in this election. 538's forecast shows it's by far the likeliest state to be a tipping point, with a 31% chance of giving either Trump or Biden the decisive vote in the Electoral College. So what's your biggest takeaway from the president's conversation with voters in Pennsylvania last night?
Diane, to me, the biggest thing in the crisis that's defining the country, defining the president's time in office, he said he wouldn't do anything differently. And he reasserted his belief that COVID-19 is going to go away naturally, even without any actions. Him contradicting himself in what he told Bob Woodward to say that he actually upplayed the virus, I think that's notable. But the bottom line is, even now, with some 200,000 people, 200,000 dead Americans, with the crisis still shutting down so much of the country, he says he wouldn't have done anything differently. That's the key calculation, is that he believes the country is coming out of this, and will give him credit. If that's not the case, there goes Pennsylvania potentially, and maybe the whole presidency.
Now, in other battleground states, we have some new polling numbers out of Wisconsin and Minnesota this morning. What do those show, and what are the key issues for voters there?
Yeah, it's the tale of the suburbs, and suburban women in particular, and that's why you see a bit of a split between these two battlegrounds that are geographically pretty similar. We see a relatively tight race in Wisconsin, Joe Biden with a 6-point lead among likely voters, but a much different portrait in Minnesota. It's looking like a blowout. And keep in mind, both of these states were among the closest in the country. Wisconsin narrowly for Trump 4 years ago. Wisconsin is one of the critical battlegrounds, there's no question. Minnesota is probably the biggest pickup opportunity for the Trump campaign, and these numbers would suggest that it's flat out of reach at this stage. And one big reason is the issues that are animating voters right now. We asked people in both states the biggest issue that they see right now. And you see the economy, number one, but it's only slightly edging out COVID-19. And really, if this election is about reviving the economy, Donald Trump may have a slight edge there. But if it's about COVID-19, Joe Biden has a very large advantage in terms of trust to handle it. So that could really be the story of the election.
And turnout, I imagine, is going to be another big one. You know, it may be more important this year than ever. Lots of people will be voting by mail. How can the pandemic affect the outcome, I mean, of the election in general, but more importantly, in these battleground states?
So the pandemic has already impacted the process of voting in fundamental ways, and early voting is going to happen in ways we've never seen before. A larger share of Americans than ever before are going to vote before Election Day, and that is part of the disparity that you've seen between Trump and Joe Biden. You see, among people that say they plan to vote before Election Day, a huge Joe Biden advantage, and just on Election Day itself, a Donald Trump advantage. And that's one key thing that Donald Trump is harping on right now when he is calling into question, without any evidence, the integrity of the vote itself. He's talking about these Election Day voters. Democrats putting a lot more priority on voting safely, on voting early, often by mail, and it is going to be a much different process of both voting and then counting the votes.
All right, Rick Klein, it's been too long, my friend, too long without at least one round of our favorite game, Stump Rick Klein. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Rick Klein, here is your question. Who were the last two Republican presidential candidates to win Pennsylvania back-to-back?
Republicans winning Pennsylvania back-to-back. Let's see. I think we're going to go with Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. Oh,
Ronald Reagan and Dwight
I wanted that ding. Where's the second ding?
Eisenhower. I'm sorry, no second ding. Dwight Eisenhower, but...
Well, I get one ding. Well,
you get one ding.
I'll walk away from Philadelphia with one ding. You can do better 7 weeks out. That's okay.
Rick Klein from Philadelphia. Always appreciate it, Rick. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.